How's it going, everyone? Today's video is going to be a little different. Alright, so how's it going, everyone? If you're a new viewer, welcome. For all my returning viewers, you typically know I do a lot of my videos as in like tutorial vibe. I'm going to try to switch it up though and actually give you guys like a episode based. So I do have a lot of things planned for the Genesis, and if you're new here, I do a lot of Genesis sedan content. You might be familiar with the coupes. They also made a sedan with the V8 in it, V6 as well. But the V8, the 4.6, and 5.0 are typically what a lot of my videos stem from. For my returning viewers, though, I wanted to give you guys some like different type of long form content where you might actually be able to like maybe watch a series like some of your other YouTubers that you might be following. The how-tos are definitely still going to be here, but what I'd like to do is episode based of what I'm doing, and then after you see me do it in the episodes, then we'll come out the tutorials on like detailed videos. And now, standing behind me is my Genesis, already up on jack stands. Now, you might notice the wheels are gone. I have no rotors on there. There's a lot of different stuff missing. And the reason for that is because I'm getting ready to do a brake overhaul, and I also have dual calipers I'm going to put on the rear. Spoiler, drift, awesome. I'm going to go ahead and put in a Hydro E, brand new calipers, brand new brake lines, custom brake line for the Hydro, brand new booster and master cylinder, and I also have an LSD differential that I'm going to be putting in since this one is technically open. I do have a lot of work cut out for me, so without further ado, let's get started. So to begin with, I went ahead and returned my drill and slaughter rotors. Now, some of this might be a little bit controversial depending on which side you err with. Some people swear by you cannot turn drill and slaughter rotors. Any good machine shop can do it for you if they have like a lathe or a rotor lathe. Basically, all you need to do is multiple thin passes, and once you're done, cutting both sides of it, go ahead and clean out the drill and slots with a wire wheel. And I did the fronts and the rears. Over on the workbench, I do have the LSD differential. This is out of a 2011, 2013 Genesis Coupe. There are a couple differences that I did make a whole video explaining. Main difference, quick rundown for you guys, is that the companion flange, or GUIP, whatever they want to call it, basically the pinion flange is different between the coupe and the sedan. So you will have to get a new seal and a new flange for the sedan. Part numbers and everything are going to be listed in the how-to video. If you guys want to watch that, it'll be coming out soon. I did also replace the seals on the side with brand new one, axle seals. And as you can see right there, this is a R3.727 LSD, where I believe the Genesis Sedan normal one uses a much lower gear ratio, which this is going to be a higher gear ratio than what comes inside the Genesis Sedan from 2009 to 2011. After that, the 5.0s do use a slightly higher gear ratio than this is. That's why they have better acceleration off the line compared to the 2009 to 2011. So that's why I'm switching out for this one. So I do get better acceleration, just not as much top end. But honestly, I'm not really trying to break any land speed records, and the speed limits around here are pretty slow anyway, so I would like to be able to accelerate better, have better control, be able to slide it if I want to. But there are a couple more things that you need to go and get with that, which are going to be different axles. These are from a 3.8 Genesis Sedan, and then obviously the coupe differential. But more of that on top of the detailed video. Okay, so in this box, we have some more goodies. A little hardware pack, some disclaimer instructions, and what most of you might be eager to see are fresh CNC aluminum dual caliper brackets. This is for the rear. This is made by FDF, I believe, which, yeah, FDS Race Shop. I believe that's the company. And they offer these for the Genesis Coupe, which I believe will bolt up for the sedan as well. This is all experimental. I'm doing this, guys, so you don't have to. And if it does work, then you can go ahead and follow along if you want to. Obviously, this isn't for everyone. This does delete your parking brake, so the fact that I'm running dual calipers and a Hydro E, I'm going to make it so I don't need the parking brake anymore. Some of you have the electronic one. I have the manual one with the foot. So honestly, it's not that big of a deal since my parking brake didn't work very good anyway. Having a second caliper on there and a Hydro-E, I'm gonna make some kind of system to lock the Hydro-E back so that that works as my parking brake now. In today's video, what I'm gonna be doing is resealing the differential right here, and basically cleaning it up with some brake clean. I'm not gonna paint it just because it doesn't need to be painted, honestly. It would look slightly better, I guess, but it's gonna be underneath the car, and honestly, the only people that would really notice it would be like a shop doing an alignment. So I'm not really, you know, too big on painting it just because it's gonna take more time to dry. It's not really that big of an issue. And honestly, it looks stock because it is stock. It's just for a coupe, not a sedan. Along with that, I am also going to have to lift the car up higher. I just got it up on standard 4 jack stands to start with. Took the wheels off and the rotors off. But I'm going to go ahead and jack up the car a little bit higher on both sides. Start on this side, lift it more. Start on that side, lift it more. That way, when I go to drop the differential out of the subframe, it comes out easily. I'm not going to take the whole subframe out just because that's a lot more work. It's not really necessary. And this is actually what a lot of guys in the coupes do when they go from an open diff to a LSD. So obviously I had already taken it apart earlier. This does pose a lot more of a fight taking it off originally. But in my tutorial video I do measure the lash and whatnot to make sure it's within the spec. But as you can see, it's actually pretty clean in here. Teeth look good. I don't see any like material or anything like that, but obviously I haven't ran it in the sedan yet. But you just want to do your checks and everything, make sure nothing's loose. And we're going to go ahead and clean this up with the razor blade, clean up the cap. And then we're going to go ahead and apply RTV. We actually have this Mega Black stuff, which is made for differentials specifically. Alright, so the cover is clean enough. Is it perfect? No. Does it have to be? Also no. So I'm going to go ahead and just basically give it another wipe down. Make sure, you know, any little bit of loose material might be gone. And then I think we can go ahead and get ready to reseal it. It is possible to put the cover on backwards. Make sure you put the vent at the top so that you don't have it, you know, leaking out as soon as you put it in the car. So for this reseal, I'm going to use this black RTV silicone. It is made for differentials, so that's why I'm using it. There's like the RTV brand. I personally use this just because a lot of people use it for the differentials. You could just use like black RTV, but I'm gonna use this. Also, try not to get into the bolt holes because you don't want it basically not leaving enough room for the bolt itself. Cool little trick in case you guys didn't know it. The RTV cap, same thing on normal RTV. The backside is actually a little puncture device, so even though it's sealed, no, it's not. Here's another neat little trick for you guys. Pliers or needle nose straight across. Some of you might already know this, some might not. But you just roll it up in there, and then you don't have to squeeze it with your hand, you just continue rolling it. we are going to let this fully cure up anyway before using it, so it's not like I have to worry about fluid breaking it down or getting into it and not sealing correctly. I did do a little seal on top as well, just so that it's like doubled up. And now what we can do is go ahead and set our cap on. I personally like to do a tap on both sides, get it seated, go around it, tap on both sides again to really set it in there. If you look into the bolt holes, you will see a little bit of RTV squeezing out into the holes. You don't want to just send your bolts in there, because what can happen is it doesn't compress very well. So eventually, if you try tightening it too much, you'll end up breaking the ears at the ends of where the bolt sits, because there's not enough space and you're just trying to cram, you know, a bolt back there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use something straight. You can use like a pen. This is actually a piece of brake line. Doesn't really matter what you use, but the main objective is to clean the RTV out that is inside those bolt holes. That way you don't have that issue. I do like to clean up my bolts as well. It's optional. There's a little old RTV on here. Can't really do anything really, unless you want to hit it with a wire brush or a wire wheel. Shouldn't matter too much. I don't think this really requires any Loctite. You could use like blue if you're really worried about it, but honestly, I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal. Main thing is we torque it in a star pattern. That way we don't have any seating issues with the cap. Alright, so this unit is ready to be installed. Obviously we still need to let the RTV cure before putting fluid in, but the time in between taking out the old one and getting it ready for this new one to go in is probably going to take a little while, and I have a couple days to do this, so I'm not in any big rush to get it done. So this might actually end up sitting overnight before you know, any fluid is actually added into it. Make sure you put fluid in it though, because if you don't, then you're going to have a bad day. If you're curious about you know, procedures on filling this and whatnot in the car, I actually do have a video. I'll link it down below if you want to check it out. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. I did forget to record an outro, so I'm going to do that right now. But if you are, give the video a like. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you're new here, subscribe. It's free. Buttons right there. And I'll see you guys in the next one.